Good morning, everyone. In our last class, we had an introduction of the chapter The Delhi Sultanate. We had seen that there were five successive dynasties that ruled over northern India. They were the slave dynasty, the Khaljis, the Tughlaqs, the Sayyids, and the Lodhis. Now, let us first talk about the slave dynasty. The slave dynasty. The dynasty established by Aibak was known as Slave Dynasty, and the rulers of the slave dynasty were known as Mamluk Sultans. Mamluk means slave. The Turkish rulers were heavily dependent on the slaves. The slaves were trained to excel in both military and intellectual spheres. Now let us talk about Qutbuddin Aibak. He ruled from 1206 to 1210 CE. He was originally a slave and a native of Turkestan. As we have seen earlier also, Qutbuddin Aibak was a trusted general of Muhammad Ghori. In the Second Battle of Tirain, Aibak was the main force behind Muhammad Ghori's victory. When Muhammad Ghori died in 1206, Aibak declared himself sovereign. Sovereign means supreme power or authority. So Aibak became the first Sultan of Delhi. Aibak conquered Ajmer, Jhansi, Delhi, and Meerut. Conquer means to overcome and take control of. He used social practice of marriage as a strategy to strengthen his position. He married the daughter of governor of Iran named Yildiz. Then he had his sister married with the governor of Sindh named Kabacha. Then he had his daughter married to Iltutmish, who succeeded him to the throne of Delhi Sultanate. Aibak was also art and literature lover. He was a very generous person. His generosity earned him the title of Laksh Baksh. Laksh Baksh means giver of lakhs. He built two mosques, one in Delhi and the other one in Ajmer. He also started the work at Qutub Minar but was not able to complete it. He died while playing polo in 1210 CE. Now let us talk about Iltutmish. Qutbuddin Aibak was succeeded by Iltutmish, who was his son-in-law. Iltutmish faced many challenges. He faced revolt from the nobles. He defeated Yildiz, who was the governor of Iran. Yes, the daughter of Yildiz was married to Aibak. Then he attacked and defeated Kabacha, the governor of Sindh. Yes, he was the husband of Aibak's sister. Then he subdued Rajput chiefs. Subdue means overcome. He also brought Bengal and Bihar under his control. The Mongols were under the leadership of Genghis Khan. The Mongols has begun to appear on the borders of India when Iltutmish was trying to consolidate his empire. The Mongols were the warrior tribes for Central Asia. Iltutmish built forts along the river Ravi to prevent Mongols to enter, but Mongols continued their attacks and gained control over western Punjab. Several scholars and artists entered India from the onslaught of the Mongols. They received the protection of Iltutmish. On the next page, we can see a map of India. The orange portion of the map represents the Sultanate of India under Iltutmish. He almost had half of the India under him. This is the orange portion. His territory include Kannauj, Bihar, Bengal, then Ajmer, Jhansi, of course Delhi, Lahore, Multan, Punjab. All the places mentioned here were under Iltutmish. Now let us read about Razia Sultan. Iltutmish was succeeded by his son after his death, but his son proved to be an ineffective ruler. Even within 7 months, the throne was passed to his daughter named Razia. As per the historian, Razia was a great monarch. She was wise, just, and generous. She was the first and the last woman who sat on the throne of Delhi. But she has to face many challenges. After all, she was a woman in a man's world. She also faced opposition from the Group of 40. The Group of 40 was the council of 40 Turkic and non Turkic nobles and military leaders. Unfortunately, the refusal of the nobles to accept a woman as their ruler finally led to her downfall. After her reign, there was a period of instability. After Razia, her younger brother was put on the throne, but he was not at free will. The real power lay in the hands of his guardian, Ghiasuddin Balban. Then came the empire of Ghiasuddin Balban. Ghiasuddin Balban managed the empire on the behalf of Nasiruddin for 20 years. When Nasiruddin died in 1266 CE, he declared himself the Sultan of Delhi. Balban was a stern man who believed in ruling with iron and blood, but he effectively protected the empire from further invasions. Balban kept the Mongols away from his clever mix of force and diplomacy. When Balban died, he was succeeded by his grandson. After his death, the kingdom weakened and it led to the collapse of slave dynasty. So that was all for today's class. In the next class, we'll study about the Khaljis. Thank you and have a nice day.